Okay, boys, welcome to LJG Sports. Today we're going to do a post-lottery mock draft. The lottery was last night, and some very shocking move-ups in the draft, like the Mavericks getting the first pick, even the Spurs moving up to 2. And so the teams we thought would be picking 1, 2, and 3, they actually got pushed back. So this is my first mock draft. Since then, I'm not going to do trades just because I'll talk about if I think trades are going to happen or not. And there probably will be trades happening, but it's more complicated when you're like adding trades, and it can get really just messy then. So I'm going to do a no trade mock draft post lottery, and this is my first one post lottery, which happened yesterday. So first pick, I think it's a no brainer. I don't think the Mavericks trade this pick. Is there a weird world where Nico Harrison goes crazy and decides to trade the number 1 pick? Possibly. But he's just too good. I don't think that there's really any other player that you'd consider here at number 1. So he will go to the Mavericks with the first pick. The Spurs, I think the Spurs are a really likely candidate to trade because the consensus number 2 is Dylan Harper. But the Spurs really don't need a point guard or even a combo guard. They have De'Aaron Fox, they have Stephon Castle, they have guards like Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and even guys that they drafted in 2022 like Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley. So I really don't think there's any reason for the Spurs to draft Dylan Harper. I think they will likely trade out of this, whether it's for a star in like Giannis or Kevin Durant, or whether it's just to move back a little and pick someone who fits their needs more, like a big man or a wing. But if in a scenario where they can't get a trade done, I do think they will take the best player available. Dylan Harper is clearly better than Ace Bailey in my opinion, so I think they take Dylan Harper. Whoever's picking number 2 should take Dylan Harper in my opinion. Next pick with the 76ers, they moved up a little. They're picking 3rd. And on the lottery, actually, it was announced that the Thunder were taking their pick. But then it was announced like right after that, actually now they're moving up to the top 4, and so they get to keep their pick. So what a roller coaster of emotions for the Sixers that night. For this one, I think it's easy for them. They take Ace Bailey, a high upside guy. Will he be consistent? Will his shot selection get better? I don't know, but you have to take a swing on him. Who knows what they do with Joel? Who knows what they do with Paul George? But with Ace Bailey, Maxey, you got McCain, and you have Grimes even. In the future, that's a pretty nice core right there. For the Hornets, picking at 4, I think that I've had them picking this guy a lot of times in my mock drafts. It's VJ Edgecombe. I just think he fits perfectly what they have there in Charlotte. You have LaMelo, you have Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller can be the 3. Obviously, LaMelo, your point guard, and VJ Edgecombe. That do-it-all, great defender, great slasher, can be your 2 guard. I just think he fits perfectly in Charlotte. And so he's going to the Hornets in this mock. Next, we have the Utah Jazz. Now, the Utah Jazz, we're probably not expecting to pick 5 here. They had, I believe, like the second best odds, and they ended up being at 5. So what do they do with this pick? Could they go someone like Trey Johnson, who is a really good I would say almost connecting piece, not connector, but he's just a good player that almost every team can use in today's NBA. Do they take a swing on a player like Kasparis Jakinchonis? I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name right, but he's a guard who didn't have the best March Madness. I know he there's been comparisons of him to like Luka Doncic, which I see what they're saying. Will he ever be even close to that? Probably not. But I could definitely see the Jazz taking a point guard like Kasparis, taking a swing on him. For me, it's the safe pick in Trey Johnson, or you go high upside on Kasparis. And I think due to the circumstances, they're going to go Kasparis. Just might as well. They didn't draft where they necessarily probably thought they would, or where they wanted to. Take a swing on a big 6'6" point guard who can be anything like Luka Doncic. You have a lot going for you there. So next comes the Wizards, and I think the Wizards would take Jack Anchonis if he was there available. And because he's not, I think you take Trey Johnson. You don't take Kaman Malawach because you have Sar. And yes, Sar kind of plays the 4, but Kaman, the way he plays is a good lob threat. So is Alex Sar. I don't think they would mesh necessarily well together. It would be a scary defensive front court if they got it. They could take Konkonepo, a good connecting piece, but I think they take Trey Johnson. I think Trey Johnson is, like I said, one of the safer prospects, can shoot the 3, great defender, great length. I don't think he falls past really the 6, 5, 7 range in this draft. Pelicans are up next, and they have some options. I don't think they take Malawach. They have Yves Missy. They have Zion Williamson, who I think they'll keep at least for one more year just to try, see if he gets healthy, see what they can do. They have guys like DeJounte Murray, who was injured this year. They have, I don't even know who else they have. I think they take the good connector and Konkonepo. I was wanting the Spurs to get him. I wanted my Spurs to get him, thinking they would pick around this way, but they ended up moving up to 2. So who knows what the Spurs will do now. Konkonepo, I feel like, is a very safe prospect. Again, a great 3-point shooter, a great decision maker, can be a secondary ball handler, and I think he'll fit perfectly on almost any team. So here the Nets are up. Now they need a center in my eyes. And there's 2 centers available that I think stick out. Is it Kaman Malawach or is it Derek Queen? Do you take the defensive upside of Kaman Malawach, or do you take the offensive skill set of Derek Queen? It's honestly who you want, what you prefer. I think the Nets go with Derek Queen for upside, and I think they already have Nick Claxton there, so I think he's more of Kaman Malawach is closer to Nick Claxton than Derek Queen is, so you get a guy who's not contrasting but complements him well. And with this pick, the Raptors, I know they have Jakob Poeltl. I think Kaman Malawach would be a good pick for them here. I do see them, if they want to go somewhere else, I could see them going there. Even a guy like Igor Demon, but I think that's too early for him. I think they take Kaman Malawach. I don't think Kaman Malawach falls out of the top 10. He's just too good of a prospect in the sense that he's going to be a great defender, and then he's going to be a good lob threat because of his height. And we saw that at Duke, how he could be that lob threat. Rockets at 10 here. I think it's easy. I think they're going for a point guard. Do you take the upside on Igor Demon? Do you take someone like Jace Richardson? It's up to me personally. I like Jace Richardson more than Jeremiah Fears. Personally, do I think they'll take him here? Yeah, screw it. They'll take Jace Richardson. A good combo guard, can maybe fit in with Reed Shepherd in the long term. And so I got the Rockets taking him. Portland Trailblazers. This is the thing. I've seen a lot of mock drafts have them taking Jeremiah Fears, but they don't need another guard. They have Anthony Simmons. They have Shaedon Sharpe. They have Scoot Henderson. You don't need another one. I think they need... they have Jeremiah Grant still on contract, I believe. I don't think he's necessarily there long term. They have Denji Avdija. They have... Who else? Who do they have at center? I don't even know. I think Liam McNeely would be a perfect fit. They need a wing, I think. Cooper Flagg would have been a great place to go here, and that would be really interesting with Cooper. But they'll take Liam McNeely, who did struggle shooting the 3 at UConn, but NBA scouts, are still considering him to be an elite 3-point shooter, and they're thinking because of his form, because of the way he shot in high school, that it will translate in the NBA. So I think they take him. Chicago Bulls, who do they go here? They could go Jeremiah Fears. I'm not high on Jeremiah Fears at all. Someone like Colin Murray Boyles is really interesting. You got team fits here from this guy. I think he would be a good fit for the Bulls. I don't think they have a pressing need on this team. Colin Murray Boyles, a power forward, can play small forward in a big lineup if you want him to. Can even play him at the center in a very small ball lineup. He'll go there to the Bulls. What do the Hawks do here at 13? It depends on their plans for what they want to do with Trae Young. And I've seen mock drafts have them doing it. I don't think it's the best decision. I have seen mock drafts taking Walter Clayton Jr., which is kind of, I guess, like your replacement for Trae Young. I think they take someone like Jeremiah Fears, who, if you keep Trae Young, he can complement him in the backcourt, even though you have Dyson Daniels. I think Dyson can play the three. And then Jeremiah Fears, who can maybe complement Trae Young or replace him if need be. So I haven't taken Jeremiah Fears. And last pick in the lottery, we have the Spurs. The Spurs, I think, at this point, again, if they're keeping Dylan Harper, that means they're pretty small. They need a big. Asa Newell is here for the taking. I'm not the highest on Asa Newell. I'm not going to lie. I like a guy like Thomas Sorber. I've seen a lot of mock drafts having Carter Bryant go. I just think another non-shooter on this team at the wing spot is not good. I have them taking Thomas Sorber. Great defender, great height, great rebounder. Something the Spurs really needed last year, which was rebounding, size, and defense when Wemby was on the court. Thomas Sorber would be a great backup center, and you can even play him next to Wemby in some really huge lineups. I think the Spurs take Thomas Sorber. So that is my official post-lottery mock draft. I only did the lottery. If you want me to do a full first-round pick or even a full two-round NBA mock draft, let me know down below. But just to recap, we have the Mavericks taking Cooper Flagg, the Spurs taking Dylan Harper at 2, Ace Bailey going at 3 to the Sixers, VJ Edgecombe going to the Charlotte Hornets to pair him next to LaMelo Ball, Kasparis Jakinchonis to the Jazz. They take a swing on a high upside guy. Trey Johnson going to the Wizards, Con Canepo at 7, Derek Queen to the Nets, Kaman Malawach to the Raptors at 9, Jace Richardson to the Rockets at 10, and to finish outside the top 10, but in the lottery, Liam McNeely, Colin Murray Boyles, Jeremiah Fears, and Thomas Sorber. Let me know down below what picks you like for your respective team if they're in this lottery. Tell me if you disagree or agree. Who would you take for your favorite team? Let me know down below.